Opportunities outlined for students to study at the Western Illinois University. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Friday, March 2022, I am Sherian Noel. The myriad of opportunities that awaits Grenadians who decide to pursue higher studies at the Western Illinois University were outlined this week during a visit by Associate Vice President, Global Studies, Randy Glean. Dr. Glean has been engaging individuals at locations across the island to educate them about opportunities to begin bachelor's or master's degrees online with tuition assistance, opportunities to complete degrees on campus, and options for teachers to earn certification and employment in Illinois, among others. The university aims to enroll at least 1,000 students from approximately 75 countries. Currently, over 800 international students are enrolled at the university, representing 61 countries. GIS spoke with Mr. Glean on Thursday before he made a presentation at the Ministry of Education's conference room.
Students aren't fully aware of what's out there for them. They're not aware that many universities would love to have students from the Caribbean, Grenada included, and would make it possible in terms of reducing the costs so that more of those students would take advantage of not only first degrees, but especially advanced degrees. I think there are a lot of people who think they have to pick up and leave and go off to study, dislodge their families, and they don't. There are lots of opportunities online. There are lots of funded opportunities at the higher levels, doctoral and PhD programs. Funding assistance is very common once you go up to the higher levels. There is tuition reduction packages that we do offer at Western Illinois University, and other schools do offer as well for undergrads, but it's really a cost-sharing, cost reduction mechanism. I think my role is to encourage students to get up and go and invest in themselves.
Mr. Glean will travel to other islands to continue promoting education at the institution. He gave feedback on the sessions conducted in Grenada.
The sessions have been amazing, and even though I've chosen to do it smaller groups and informal, it's worked out really well. I mean, having 20-some students in the mall sitting around taking 3 solid hours answering their questions individually, that is providing service, recognizing them as persons.
Moving along, the Royal Grenada Police Force is intensifying the fight against predial larceny through the appointment of a superintendent to be directly in charge and lead the force's efforts in this regard. Predial larceny has been a scourge for quite a number of years, and the RGPF has been working along with the Ministry of Agriculture to find solutions that are effective. This act is an offense punishable by law, and with a new lead on the task force, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin hopes their efforts will yield more results.
To date, we have had a few meetings with the ministry with a view to looking to have the predial larceny task force adequately resourced, reorganized, and equipped with vehicles, equipment, and personnel to enhance their capacity to improve their ability to more effectively support farmers in the fight against predial larceny.
The RGPF is also re-energizing farm watch schemes as a means of strengthening its partnership with farmers.
As recent as Tuesday, I attended a farm watch meeting in Guelph in an effort to pursue this very said objective. Despite predial larceny reports being contracted by 20% in 2021 as compared to 2020. This gives us no feeling of comfort, as both predial larceny and stock trespass crimes against our farmers remains unacceptably high.
The Ministry of Health stock of medical supplies was increased on Friday following a donation of more than 600,000 EC dollars worth of equipment and supplies by the People's Republic of China. The presentation was made at the General Hospital to Health and Social Security Minister Honorable Nicholas Teal by Chinese Ambassador His Excellency Wei Hongshang. Ambassador Wei explained that the equipment is essential and gives reassurance of solidarity.
Faced with the devastating pandemic, only by joining hands together can we tide over hard times. The inequality in medical supplies and vaccines distribution among countries is drastic and heart-wrenching. And this problem should be addressed by unity, cooperation, multilateralism, and sense of responsibilities, but not unilateralism and finger-pointing.
Health Minister Honorable Nicholas Steele and Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Oliver Joseph both shared the sentiments that the People's Republic of China continues to be a good friend to Grenada.
We're here again today to recognize, as you have said, Ambassador, China makes no empty promises. China promised to be our friend, helping us as best as possible in this pandemic, even during the dark moments for China herself. And you have lived up to and stood up to that promise. Today is another example of that we continue to receive assistance. And also, in the not too distant future, a couple of weeks from now, I'm hoping that we will be at another venue here in Grenada to receive further. I think what we can determine as a piece de resistance, the ultimate, which is the vaccines.
You have come to our assistance throughout the COVID period in providing us with PPEs and other assistance that will help the people of Grenada to overcome this pandemic. And because of your help, we were able to manage to reach the situation that we are in today, where we can see the lifting of a lot of the restrictions that were put in place previously.
This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
The Arise National Champs is back! Yes, Arise National Championship. Come on down to the Karani James Athletic Stadium on March 12th and cheer your favorite athlete on. Children $5, adults $10. It's the Arise National Champs!
Welcome back. The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry has pledged its support to a local private venture that has already put boots on the ground towards the revitalization of 100 acres of arable land in St. George. The project in Good Hope, St. George, is being undertaken by the Grenada Real Estate Corporation and aims to promote increased access to land for improved food and nutrition security. Leroy Nichols, representative of the board, explained that the corporation is looking forward to working with people who are interested in developing the agriculture sector in Grenada.
What we're interested in is getting serious people to farm. We want somebody that's seriously interested in farming. You come in and you farm, you plant your whatever vegetables thing and so on, and you seriously developing the area.
Nichols says the board has put in place several critical services to alleviate the challenges that farmers may face.
We are making the lands available. Okay? We recognize too the challenges that the farmers have had with equipment, roads, things of the sort, right? Water and so forth. So my board has taken the decision that we're going to work with government, because we're talking food security and all of that sort of stuff, right? So let's work with government to see, especially at this time, it's critical that we become self-sufficient as far as possible, okay? So against that background, we have already purchased a new Massey Ferguson tractor, which we have, so that we'll be able to provide plowing services for the farmers, right? We've bought an excavator, which you see there, so that we could fix the roads. We've been cutting down all the trees, pulling down the trees to allow the roads to dry out and things of the sort like that, right? And at the same time, we can provide the service for clearing the land for the farmers and things of the sort like that. So there's no excuse for the farmer now in terms of services.
Minister for Agriculture Honorable Peter David, who visited the site on Wednesday, commended Nichols on the undertaking that has the potential to be a driving force for the involvement of youth in agriculture, food security, and contributing to sustainable land management.
This is a clear example of the potential for public-private partnership. That here's a private sector gentleman, he owns land, he's interested in getting the land under production, and we are at the ministry interested in increasing production. So we give a commitment that we will do what it takes to get this land up and running. We are urging all owners of land to do the same thing. If you have land that you want to engage in production, the Ministry of Agriculture is here willing to work with you in a public-private partnership. We have our skills, you have the land, you have the ability to allow that land to be used. I want to commend Leroy too for getting all the equipment. The equipment that I see there, the tractors, the bulldozers and so on that have been working, it's a serious investment. And it's a clear commitment to agriculture. It's a clear show of confidence in the agricultural sector that Mr. Nichols here is indicating. So with his inputs and our inputs, I'm sure this is an important project for getting agriculture going.
The technical team also comprised of Chief Agricultural Officer Trevor Thompson, Senior Agricultural Officer Lawrence St. Louis, and Gregory Del Sol. And finally in the news, the Ministry of Sports and the Grenada Athletics Association will stage the first major sports event, the Horizon National Champs, after 2 years of no sporting activities due to COVID-19. The weekend's event at the Karani James Athletic Stadium will feature 13 clubs and schools with over 200 athletes who will compete in track and field events. GAA's Public Relations Officer Kwame Hippolyte said the event will help officials in the selection process of athletes to represent Grenada at the 2022 Character Games in April.
National Championship this year will be used to finalize and select the athletes who will represent Grenada at the 2022 Character Games, which will be held in Jamaica over the Easter weekend. The Grenada Athletic Association is happy, we're excited about the return of the games because it's the first major athletic championship since the COVID pandemic. We partnered with the Ministry of Health and the Royal Grenada Police Force in terms of ensuring that we have protocols in place for the staging of the games this year with patrons.
The games is scheduled to start at 10 a.m. And with that story, we come to the end of the National Report for Friday, March 2022. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sherry Ann Noel, thanking you for viewing.